Hello everyone and welcome to Crusader Kings 2. If the map didn't give it away, then sincerely welcome. You have never watched a CK2 video. Alright, so we are starting a new series. This is my third run at this attempt because apparently I'm good at deleting video footage. And also I'm really good at rolling the dice and getting characters killed when it's unnecessary, but that is what it is. So, diving into this one, this is hopefully will be a brand new series. Hopefully I won't have to re-record this. We are playing as the Chief of Krakow. And you may say, why that? Why Krakow? Because we're going to form Poland and form the Windish Empire, and if we can achieve those two things and successfully convert and become, I say convert to Catholicism at some point, but also take our society from tribal to feudal, we will have done something really, really good. Also, if it all works out and we are able to potentially form the Windish Empire, which would be really kind of step 4 or 5, depending on what steps you look at, then I think we'll have something that will be enticing enough to turn into a EU4 game. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so without further ado, before we dive into it, I do want to show you. Okay, so right now we're Krakow. This is us. We'll get into our character. Krakow, and so I should probably give a little more preface. This is the 867 start. This is the start of the Viking Age. We are playing with all the expansions enabled except for Sunset Invasion. Of course, the newest one, the most recent, Holy Fury, which is absolutely amazing, is up and running, and we get changes to the map in Africa and in some other places. But in the start, why choose Krakow? Well, Krakow is a great territory to build a capital. You can see right now we just have a tribe, but you have 5 additional building slots, which really enable you to potentially build a great capital holding over a long enough period of time. Krakow is also unique in the fact that it is a vassal, or I am a vassal of Great Moravia. Now, every time I have played CK2 in this start date, Great Moravia implodes. I have yet to play a game, and this is probably over the course of, I don't know, easily 100 games, where this entity goes on to do great things. What's also very fascinating about Krakow is Lesser Poland, which is directly to your east. These are your half brothers, and that's, I think, what can make this start so intriguing, is based on what happens with them if they die without heirs. If you die, you do have the ability to gain some territory relatively quickly. Excuse me. Whew. As I yawn. So, let's take a look before we get into our character and all that other gravy. We haven't even started the game. We've got opening moves that we need to make. But, anyways, De jure Kingdom. So, right now, the De jure Kingdom of Poland is made up of what I really kind of see as five integral state entities. You've got Great Moravia that owns a chunk of it. It actually looks like you have Subia, who owns a small sliver, but then you've got Greater Poland. I can't pronounce this because I always botch it, but I believe it's Kujawi. Then you've got I'd have to actually click on this. What are you? Mazovia, and then Lesser Poland. So what's most likely going to happen is we will at some point be incorporated into Lesser Poland, and then from there we will use Lesser Poland as our really kind of platform to acquire a majority of the de jure Kingdom of Poland. We will form Poland, and then from there, if everything works out, Lord willing, we will be able to form the Windish Empire. That gives us the ability to pretty much expand in a lot of different directions without, you know, having to do something too crazy. So that's really kind of the goal. Let's actually get into our character. First and foremost, it looks like we are not exactly a great character. We are a 85074 with a 4 personal combat. Our heir right now is the High Chief, and we're going to actually vote for him in the event that we die. We do need to pick a character focus. I do think that it would be well worth our time to just flat out take war. Actually, to tell you the truth, I want to take business. I've kind of changed my mind. Alright, and what do we want to do? We want to groom an heir. That's perfect. That will help us with the likelihood that we have a kid. And last but not least, we want to take a wife. And I would prefer that she be a good Slavic woman. So let's see what we have. We only want adults. Okay, all right. I was gonna say that didn't look right. And we want to pick someone who has some relatively decent stats. The higher, the better. All right. So we do have a mastermind theologian. Wow, you're a genius and you're 19. Yeah, we're a little different religions, but I'm gonna be honest. That genius trait off the bat sounds really good. We're gonna take a prestige hit. And that is what it is. So let's go ahead and divvy out all of these lovely titles. We're going to reserve the court tutor and the designated regent for our spouse. And I think now that that is done, I think we can just kind of go ahead, bump up the speed to 3 and wait for things to happen. Alright, so great, they're going to let us get married. We can take gold or we can take prestige. We're going to take prestige because we've already got negative prestige. But we have our genius wife, and she likes us a little bit. And we're going to actually make her regent. Alright, genius wife, where are you? My diviner. Interesting. So I can't... Can I not divvy out your title? Alright, we're already at war against the Suebians, so I'm going to be a good vassal and go ahead and raise my guys and tell them to attack to the Moravian army, and we can at least help. I wonder if I go, hey, Kingy, I want to join your war. I really want to make my wife court tutor. I don't think I'm going to have that option right now. Will you come to court? She's just hanging out over there. Okay. Well, our king's going to let us join the war. I don't think I can make her designated regent because she's not in our country. So we're going to make that guy. And best educator is going to be her. Alright. Those are assigned. Oh yeah, I probably need to tell my council what to do. You need to perform statecraft. I want you to train troops. Build my legend. Study technology, and we'll just send you Venice. Does that work? And as for the last one, let's improve religious relation. No. Yeah, that's what we want. Hey, let's proselytize. Not worth it right now. We are pagan. We are Slavic pagans. Let me take a look at... Oh yeah, societies. That's the other thing we want to do. We want to join this one. Yeah, so we're going to fight. So we're going to duel this cat who is marginally better than us. And we won. My leg hurts, but somehow it doesn't seem as bad as what my opponent is suffering. I'm not done. The chief says, though I threw gritted teeth, but then he lies back down on the ground, throwing his bare hands to the side. When I step closer, he sputters, no, I'm done, I yield. Hot dog. So, even though we're wounded, we actually won our duel. So we are now a part of the, not the cold ones. We are part of the Champions of Perun, or Perun. I'm not exactly sure what the name of that is, but there you have it. Alright, so you are trying to conquer this one. I would like to... I can't... Apparently I can only join one war at a time? Huh. Okay. Whew. Excuse me. Alright, let's see what our brother is up to. Wife is pregnant. It's great. She'll at least produce an heir. He married. And this guy did not get married. And I'm his heir. Well, that is quite fascinating in and of itself. I'm the designated regent of Greater Moravia. That is really kind of fascinating. That's a first. Apparently my king likes me. So at first the signs were small, easily dismissed as coincidences, but now they're becoming too frequent to be ignored. The omens surrounding my wife's pregnancy are terrible. No, she's not stressed. Okay, that's good. That's real good. Bad omens. Oh man, I don't even know what that means. I've never actually had that yet. Bad omens indeed. Alright, how are we doing here? We got a few more ticks. Alright, so we're going to spend 10 gold, gain 10 piety, and basically the old wife is going to... She should be touched. There we go. Okay. She's a little happier with us. A little more, increasingly more happy. Okay. Now the good news is we actually outnumber. We just need to take this. Be smart about it. Come on, be smart. So Great Moravia generally gets involved in 2 or 3 wars, at least in what I've noticed real quickly right off the bat. You have a lot of these. We just got to duel this guy. Wait, that's me. Alright, so while the champions of Perun always appreciate a good brawl, you should also understand there's a time for fighting and a time for enjoying oneself with the company of brothers and sisters in battle. Would it kill you to organize a feast or two? I've got to select the carousing focus. We're not going to take that right now. Alright, so we now have our son. He's not a genius, did not inherit that trait, but we did produce another one in our Lekowitz. I'm terrible at names like that. So we have a son. That's great. There are many nobles that are good soldiers, but there are some I get along quite nicely with. Ugh. The campaign has given me a true friend. What are you the count of? Alright, so we got a brother in arms. Apparently fighting with him was not a bad thing. Or fighting alongside him. That's a better way to say that. The old wound has finally healed, leaving a pretty grotesque scar behind. Alright, so we're now scarred, which is awesome. See it? We're scarred right there. What to do? Well, my son is the heir. That is crazy. And there we go. What are you? You are de jure war over Krakow. That may not be the worst thing in the world. That's the first time this has happened. I would not complain about that because it would enable me, give me the ability to actually do some good. And I think that war would actually incorporate me into Lesser Poland. And then I got a plan. Got one of them real good plans. Alright, so we're gonna move there. Okay, it's clear that there is... I can't talk tonight. It is clear that there are unkempt buffoons in the army of our liege. I simply can't stand some of them. And one individual in particular is frustrating to no end. That individual would be this gentleman, the Baron. Alright, so I don't like the Baron. Shocker. Big time shocker. Alright, so we're going to siege this back. It's a tribal holding. It should fall pretty quickly. Just general housekeeping. These episodes, I'm going to try to make them run around 20 minutes a pop. So when we get there, of course, we'll cut it up and from there move forward. We're not doing a great job. Okay, there we go. Of fighting against Subia. Really not too terribly shocked about that. Alright, so they're coming from my capital holding. There again, I'm not real upset. I just don't think that Greater Moravia is going to do what we need them to do. I think it's great that they siege that down, but they're going to take all this back, and I think he's got the troop advantage right now to at least take one of them out. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to do that. And I think Great Moravia is going to collapse. Not necessarily a bad thing, because that gives us the ability to do what we need to do. Alright, so you're going to siege now this bishopric. Yeah. And if you're smart, you'll just siege all this. I mean, like, it's a real easy playbook. There are a lot of tribes that Great Moravia controls. I think that if I were fighting this, that's how I would go about it. Is go after all the tribal stuff. Way easier to siege down. And hopefully you get the ticking war score, which he will get the ticking war score because he occupies the war goal. Alright, how many troops do we have here? See, as soon as I re-siege this stuff, there you go. I think I'd be crashing in on this guy. Big time. But I don't think the computer really operates like that all the time. So right now we're losing all those wars. I say we. The king of Great Moravia is. And so they always implode. Now I have had one game where they remained relatively strong for about 70 years, but then they imploded. They're kind of in a tough spot. I mean, you know, they've got a bunch of, you know, they're in a tough spot for a couple of reasons. Number one, the first is that they're primarily feudal and Christian on half the country, and then they're pagan and tribal on the other half, and that can create some opinion problems for them. And then if you are familiar with CK2, you already know this, but if you're not, in the Viking start date, you have the Magyars, and they basically migrate into the Carpathian Basin, and they settle down. The Magyars were the really kind of the tribe that were Proto-Hungarians. So they cross the mountains, and they settle in this basin, and Great Moravia can very easily come under attack from a very powerful Hungary right here that can gobble them up. In the playthrough where I deleted the video, because that's apparently just what I do now, I just delete videos that I record because I don't pay attention. But at one point in that playthrough, there was about a 50-year period where Hungary actually subjugated Great Moravia into their fold. Now that eventually broke, and Hungary actually had a really poor game there. But there have been some other playthroughs that I've done where Hungary eats up, what is this? Slavonia. They eat up a chunk of Serbia as well as something else. It has been some time now since I began noticing. Let me slow down. It has been some time now since I have begun noticing this cat. He has distinguished himself more than once amongst the members of our lodge. He is, without a doubt, an impressive warrior. We should be friends. He is a good warrior. Alright, so apparently this guy has a friend now. That's awesome. Alright, so we siege that down. Don't go to Krakow. Don't do that. I want to get free. Alright, so as much as I would love to continue this, we are at 22 minutes. I've already broken my rule. Wasn't paying attention to time. But we will be back in the next episode. I say we. I will be back in the next episode. And we'll continue this from there. If you enjoyed the video and you're looking forward to this series, feel free to leave a like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you next time.